We are talking about Black is King right now,
You know,
and our feelings towards what we just saw.
listen, no laughter. Listen,
Okay.
B, I love you. I rocks with you. I've been rocking with you since Destiny's Child. But listen, okay. Here's the thing. Just to keep it real, I went into it expecting one thing and got another, and then I'm pretty much to summarize. The way it was laid out, or at least the way I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be more of a documentary that kind of traces our roots to before slavery, to talk about a subject that's so rarely discussed. Like, I swear to you, was my feeling going into this, and we basically got an hour and 25 minutes of music videos, which, do not get me wrong, they were beautiful.
They were beautifully shot. They were...
I expected more of a documentary and got a set of music videos. And like I said, don't get me wrong, visually, it was an absolute masterpiece. If that was her goal going into it, job well done. Mm-hmm. You did that. Mm-hmm. But for one, I get it was supposed to be a retelling of The Lion King, but I felt like it was a little difficult to follow. In the beginning, I could follow it easily, and then when they threw in the set for Move Forever, it kind of threw me off.
It did throw me off.
Because didn't you think that he was going to grow up to be Jay-Z? I'm like, oh, okay, so we're getting Jay-Z's story? Are we telling this from the perspective of Jay-Z becoming a man?
I'm just not understanding what his purpose was for being there. Were they supposed to be like Timon and Pumbaa telling him to Hakuna Matata? Like, was that the version of it they were going for? Because that's how I felt when I thought about it later. I was like, okay, maybe that's what that was. But that kind of really pulled me out of the allure of the story.
Yeah, it was too flashy for me. And perhaps had it been set in a setting that seemed more accustomed to celebrating Hakuna Matata. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but I don't know. Just something about the actual setting, and it just didn't...
And to me, honestly, it felt like I told you yesterday, it felt like ape shit. It felt like that video where we saw them being glamorous and, standing in front of the Mona Lisa and doing all of this stuff and saying we're rich. And that's exactly what that part of it felt like. And I was like, well, what did that have to do with the journey of a young man becoming king? Like, I just did not understand that enough. And so... it pulled me out of it.
Remember when I said that I thought that scene was supposed to be, I thought the purpose of that scene was supposed to be him foreseeing what he could achieve, if he, worked hard enough. And now you're saying that it was supposed to be, the whole no worries, the whole concept of Hakuna Matata. And I'm like, okay, see, the fact that I wasn't able to easily follow that, how do you expect an 8 or a 9-year-old watching Disney Plus to be able to follow that?
Exactly.
And with all the colors and the flashiness of the whole project, if I'm an 8 or a 9-year-old, that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. I'm not going to be taking these life lessons that are supposed to be conveyed through these videos. Right. I'm not going to take that away from it.
No, unless a parent is there to watch it with you and explain it to you. And I mean, at the end of the day, definitely not throwing shade at what she was trying to accomplish, because the story I think she wanted to tell had the potential to be very beautiful. I just kind of wish she went about it a different way. Like, I would have been really happy to see her even make it a musical, if that's where she was going, where she wanted to have music or something like that, or just something a little bit more than just a music video for about an hour and 25 minutes.
Something outside of the norm, especially if that's, the route she's trying to go with her career. If she's trying to, do more, behind the scenes projects. It's like, we've already seen this Beyonce. We already know you can slay an outfit. We already know you can dance. I want to see Beyonce the storyteller.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling you earlier. One of the things I really liked about Homecoming was, you got to see, just what it took to put on something that spectacular. You got to see, behind the scenes footage. You got to see Beyonce interacting with Jay, trying on outfits and being upset that it didn't fit and getting to interact with her babies. You got to see a more human side of her.
Which is what I would have loved for this. If we gotten to see her interact with the different artists she brought on and the culture of where she was and all of that stuff, if we got to see her interact with that, I think would have definitely added so much depth.
And if you're Beyonce and you're being all these different African cultures are inspiring you. Can you imagine the things that she's seen, the people she's talked to?
Yes.
Like, we want to see that.
The people she has access to that we don't.
I would have loved to have seen that side of her. Like, show us a little, like, I get it, you know, you're Beyonce, you're very private, but being able to see that part of your world, just what inspires you to put on these spectacular performances, I would have loved to have seen that. Mm-hmm. Versus, with, like I said, with Homecoming, rather than just have just the performance, we got to, you know, take a break from the performance to see everything behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have seen just a glimpse into what she experiences when she goes on these different journeys. Mm-hmm. But that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying, because I think she has access to things that we couldn't even dream of because of the type of money she has. And I would love to be a part of that with her vicariously at this point, because you saw like we could go with her. And I feel like when we're just seeing music video after music video after music video, like you said, what we're seeing is what we already know. She has these beautiful outfits, these stylists and all these other things that just make her Beyonce. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She has surroundings that are beautiful. And it's like, okay, we know that. But what can we take away from that? What can we learn from that? And I mean, I get it. And honestly, not even trying to be mean, and I know I'm going to probably get some flack for saying this, but who asked for another retelling of The Lion King? Because I honestly didn't ask for the live action version and still have not watched that to this day.
Well, you already know, they were on the whole, pretty much every classic Disney movie was being remade, so it was only right to, throw The Lion King in there. So we already knew that was coming in their defense.
Yeah.
And I guess, again, in her defense, from what I heard, the project was delayed due to COVID, and had this come out a little closer to the Lion King release, it probably would have made a little more sense, but because it kind of came out of nowhere, I went into it expecting, oh wow, this is
something totally different,
and basically got what was supposed to be released months ago, and that's fine. That's fine. Again, if that was the ultimate goal, okay, but maybe it's my expectations just didn't align.
Yeah.
I think that's what it really comes down to. I was just expecting something totally different.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, kudos to her team, her design team, her cinematography. Like that, like you said, we were talking about yesterday, that one shot where it started to fade to the night and you saw them walking. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. So there was a lot of definite beauty. And in the beginning of it, I was actually more drawn in. And then they lost me with the mood song. It lost me. And then it was hard to pick back up after that. It was hard to get back into the story. To the point where I was like, okay, so are we at the fight scene now? Because that's kind of what I think we're going for. Like, I got lost. And it took me out of it. It made it hard for me to be able to connect with what she was trying to do after that.
So at that point, all I saw was Beyonce.
Yeah. We saw her and Jay being flashy. And
I'm sorry, I've been begging you. I'm sorry. At that point, after that, all I saw was Beyonce. I no longer saw a story. Mm-hmm. Until we got to the end where, she was dancing in the red and, you're like, okay, well, this is the fight scene.
Right.
But even when I was talking to my sister about this on Facebook, even she said that she knew what part of the story to pick up on because she heard Beyonce's line, Lioness's "Are You Ready?" or I think it was something like that.
Yeah, that's how I knew we were in the fight scene, because she said that first. But the songs that came before that, like After Mood, and it was 2 other songs, I couldn't place it. I was like, I'm trying to figure out where we are in the story. Like, I get the purpose of them trying to portray him being lost, and having to find his way, because I feel like that scene where, he was riding around in a car with dude, and you saw those women without faces. That was him being lost. And I totally saw that, but I had to, consciously think about it and look for it, because I'm like, what are we doing right now? And then it was just like, oh, so he's lost and he has to find his way. But then the song that came after that, I couldn't place it for anything. And then when we got back to the fight scene where she actually announced it, she was like, Lioness, are you ready? Then I'm like, okay, now we're at the fight scene where he has to fight Scar for his right to be king.
I didn't even realize the guy crawling on the table was supposed to be Scar until my sister pointed it out.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So again, if I have to think this hard about what's going on, how do you expect someone, you know, the age demographic that they're trying to pull in to be able to easily follow that? That's why I said it probably would have made more sense to just do like a musical and just use the music in the background. And then again, that's basically doing Lion King all over again. But,
right.
Or they could have told the story from a different angle.
From a different angle. And I think that's what they were trying to do, is tell it from a different angle. I feel like we needed just a little bit more context. I don't know. It just...
Perhaps.
And I want to point out, while we're recording this, she's actually wearing a Beyonce shirt right now. So it's not that...
I still love her!
It's not that there's no love for Beyonce. It's not that, you know...
The second omelet is tragic.
Shut up.
I should have gave you this one.
Nope, I got the pretty one. Shut up. I always give you the prettier stuff when I cook. Anyway, just to kind of wrap it up, because I don't want this to be too long, because I know it's kind of long and editing is going to be so much fun. But
Wait, how long was it supposed to be? I would have shut up.
Oh no, we're fine. I can edit what we need and what we don't need. I can understand to some degree what she was going for, but I just wanted to see something different than another visual album. And I get it's Disney Channel, so she's kind of limited to what she can do, because they're always going to want music and flash and color and stuff like that. She might have been able to do more with Netflix, because with Netflix she was able to do Homecoming as a bit of a documentary, which with Disney it probably had to be more of a musical retelling. So I get it. I just really wanted more than what I got. I just got an hour-long music video. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment and let us know what you think about Black is King. Did you love it? Did you kind of understand where we were coming from? Please, no attacks. This is not a hate video. We're not trying to downgrade Beyonce or what she's done and what she's accomplished. We're only just trying to have a conversation about how we feel. But all right, make sure you subscribe, and we will see y'all next video. Bye.